Good afternoon, everybody. John Ward, Director of Emergency Management here in Clay County at the Unified Command Center with our partners responding to the COVID-19 event here in Clay County. Just a couple quick updates. Currently, we're at 56 positive cases. We have 6 deaths. We had one unfortunate death this morning and 696 negative tests. And the Clay family is mourning with all families that have been impacted by this so far. You've heard me talk a lot about Unified Command and our partners this week towards this COVID-19 and working with emergency management. I just want to call out all the folks that have been working towards this event, and I just want to kind of do a shout out real quick. Literally within the past hour, there was some guidance that came out from FEMA on some 7 bullet points on what emergency managers need to be doing and suggestions moving forward. We checked all those off at the beginning of this with our Unified Command team and pushing forward. So just kind of as a real quick thing. Moving forward on the numbers, we want to push everybody to the Florida Department of Health dashboard. The numbers get updated at 11 a.m. and 6 a.m. The numbers will rise moving forward. Over the next 8 to 10 weeks, they will rise. So I just want everybody to be prepared for that as we move forward into this. I state this is going to be an 8 to 10 week event. I hope I'm wrong, but the good thing in that is we are flattening the curve, which is what we've been talking about the entire time. By flattening the curve, we're going to have the same number of cases. It's just going to take a longer period of time to get to those numbers. What that does is that prevents the surge of our medical and healthcare systems, our hospitals, those type things. So although this is going to be an 8 to 10 week event, what we want to try to avoid is overwhelming our healthcare systems like what you're seeing in New York and other places like that. Again, the EOC has been working nonstop now for 22 days, 14 to 16-hour days in responding to this event. And this is made up of partnerships between the BCC, the Department of Health, Fire Rescue, Sheriff's Office, Clay County District Schools, our municipalities, hospitals, and utilities that are working through responding to this event that's impacting our community. Daily communication is ongoing with our state and federal partners, so as we collaborate moving forward on these events. And then also our hospitals. As I keep mentioning, it is critical that we do not overwhelm our healthcare system, and literally off of calls that we have with them, we're keeping monitoring on ICU beds and hospital beds. And I assure you that currently they have plenty of beds that are available for any further cases that come forward. Stop the spread is working. Again, we're stopping the spread, but we need our citizens, which everybody here is a first responder in this. You're on the front lines, and we've got to keep our physical distancing to stop the spread of this event. We saw a lot of guidance come out yesterday from the executive order from the governor. Again, really pushing that physical distancing of 6 feet or more and then groups of 10 or more. This is now enforceable, so please, as first responders in this event, please adhere to these events. As we stated, 2091 that came out yesterday, the Safer at Home, it puts citizens that shall stay home that are 65 and older with underlying medical conditions, and all persons are limited movement with the exception of essential services in there. And then it also closes all non-essential businesses as of 12:01 Friday morning. And if you look online at our website, you'll be able to see that 2091, which has all the businesses that are exempted in that. One of the things that we've had addressed this morning and a couple of the concerns that's been brought to us is the continual surge buying at our grocery stores. The commodities are coming in. The supply chain is not broken. But what we're doing is we're seeing a lot of surge buying. So as the commodities come in, people are grabbing them off the shelves. We really need to concentrate on getting what we need to allow other folks in our vulnerable populations to get what they need. And then the other thing we'd like to ask to our citizens and our retail managers is to monitor the amount of people you're having in your store. We're getting a lot of complaints on stores being overcrowded, that type thing. Again, that 6 foot physical distance from everybody is what we've got to keep to stop the spread of this. Parks and boat ramps are currently open. Our playground equipment is closed and our group sport venues are closed. Our green spaces are open. We want to allow people to get out and enjoy the beautiful parks we have. That does not involve group gathering. So it's one or two of us that are physically distancing, out riding our parks or walking through the beautiful trails that we have. The other thing I want to make mention of is boat ramps. Our boat ramps are open. Again, discouraging any group gatherings. And put your boat in, go enjoy the water, and then FWC has put out a 50-foot between boats, and I do know FWC is out enforcing this. So please get out and enjoy the waterways, but keep that physical distance between boats, so 50 foot or more. Food commodities. We've been working with our partners at the state, Feeding Florida and Feeding Northeast Florida, on getting commodities into our county through our distribution warehouse. And we're working with all of our food banks in the area to keep supplying them as they keep supplying our local citizens in need. If you have any food delivery that you'd like to, you can donate to your local food bank. If it's a larger commodity or a larger order, you can get it to our commodities warehouse and then call 877-252-9362. And again, if you're interested in volunteering, we now have a team that stood up with all our vulnerable populations that are at the house. We're doing individual volunteers and just setting it on the front door, so we're not interacting with them. And again, if you're in need of food or if you're interested in volunteering, you're going to call that same number, 877-252-9362. The other thing I want to make mention of is, again, I keep calling out the Chamber of Commerce for assisting us in the SBA loans. We are when this is done and over in a couple months, hopefully, the economic impact is going to impact us for some time on this, on both our local businesses and our unemployed folks. So we're really working aggressively to try to get programs in to help them. So if any of our small businesses out there need assistance, please go to that claychamber.com and sign up for their registration form to get on the distribution list and be a part of their webinars. If any of our citizens have any questions or concerns regarding this, our call center is open Monday through Sunday, 8 to 5. And that, again, that number is 877-252-9362. And then please just we're seeing a lot of rumors out on the social media, that type of stuff, a lot of incorrect information out of there. Please go to the CDC website, the Florida Department of Health website, the Clay County Board of County Commissioners website, or our emergency management social media pages to get the correct information out there. Ms. Heather Huffman will be here to answer questions at the end, as she had no new information to update. So now I'm going to turn it over to Superintendent David Brodsky to do his brief. Thank you all.
Good afternoon. Clay County District Schools actually had its first day of school. I know you're thinking that was in August, but the first day of distance learning occurred last Tuesday. I'm proud to announce that we had limited issues on our technology platforms, and I just want to extend my deep appreciation to the parents, the students, our teachers, and our employees for their work during this endeavor. Never before have we taken all public schools and closed them and then said we're going to have a new way of learning, we're going to all learn at home. Let me tell you, if you want to see some really interesting stuff, go to our website, to our Facebook page, and see the pictures posted by parents and students as to what they've been doing during this time frame. I am absolutely amazed at the creativity of our teachers, the dedication of our parents and of our staff, their flexibility in adapting to this new way of learning. I know that we're all trying to learn our way through this, and we're all going to get better each and every day as we go through this. I have some encouraging numbers to share because I'm a numbers guy. 59,000 logins to our One Clay portal. We have about 39,000 students in the Clay County school system. So the use of the technology is definitely occurring. Google Classroom, which is our main platform for student integration, had 113,000 hits yesterday. So people are on these platforms, they're working hard, they're learning as they go, and we greatly appreciate all of their flexibility as we all adapt to this new way of learning. Chromebook distribution. We should have all Chromebooks distributed by tomorrow. At this point, we've distributed around 12,500 Chromebooks. If you are still in need of a Chromebook or technology at your house, please go to our oneclay.net/coronavirus website and register for those. We still can accommodate those people who are still in need. Once again, we take seriously our dedication to the community as a whole. Our meal service plan is still in process. Every school day that we have school, we give out meals to students both at breakfast from 8 to 9 and lunch from 12 to 1. We've added 17 sites to do so to help our community, with the latest site being added in the Oakleaf area at Plantation Oaks Elementary. Again, I just want to thank the community. If you look at the comments, they've been extremely positive, which is an indication that we are one community, that we are one Clay, and that we all have the same common mission. So thank you so much. Now it's my pleasure to introduce Sheriff Daryl Daniels.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Sheriff Daniels, Clay County Sheriff's Office. I'll keep my comments very brief. Just as a matter of updates, the jail population is decreasing, and it's decreasing because crime is going down in Clay County. Some people tend to think that in situations like this there's a spike in crime, but it's just the opposite here in Clay County. The men and women of the Clay County Sheriff's Office are diligently out there patrolling your neighborhoods and your streets. And in addition to those regular traditional duties of law enforcement, they are also looking for non-compliance locations of gathering of individuals, 10 or more. And, you know, Chapter 252 of Florida statutes allows the governor certain powers and privileges, and one is the ability to enact executive orders. Another portion of that chapter, 252.47, also is a green light for local law enforcement to enforce non-compliance issues that surface up that are contrary to those executive orders. So effective tomorrow at the stroke of midnight or later tonight, we will be, the Clay County Sheriff's Office and all local law enforcement will be in a posture where we're addressing those non-compliance issues. Don't place us in a position where we're having to have negative interaction with you and your family members as a result of your non-compliance with the executive orders of the governor. The things that have been placed in place are to slow the spread of this COVID-19 virus. And it's not to, take anything from anybody or have a negative impact on anybody or society for that matter, although there are some unintended consequences as a result of these decisions. Overall, it's for the right reason. And so I'll say this, what I don't want to happen is to rob Peter to pay Paul. I don't want to take resources away from patrol or the detective functions because we're having issues of non-compliance and folks gathering where they should not be. There's other ways to hang out. There's other ways to have recreational activities going on without being in violation of the executive order. So, it'll be a personal favor and it's a personal ask from me as a sheriff of this county to ask you, all members of this county, to comply voluntarily with the language of the executive order. Thank you. So next up for an update will be our own county manager, Howard Wanamaker.
Thanks, Sheriff. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank John, Superintendent Brodsky, and Sheriff Daniels in providing the latest information on our response to this COVID-19 pandemic. We are working together and in constant comms with federal, state, and local leadership in assessing critical needs, sharing information, preparing contingency plans, ordering supplies and equipment, and executing the daily mission. I want to remind everyone that county buildings and offices are either closed or have limited access. Please call ahead and schedule an appointment or just to receive assistance or service. We must all work together to stop the spread of this virus and protect each other. We must follow the governor's latest executive order 20-91, safer home and essential services and activities. The bottom line to this is stay home unless it's absolutely necessary to venture out. I want to remind everyone to wash your hands frequently, do not touch your face, Maintain 6 feet away from others. And if you feel sick, stay home and contact your primary provider. We will all get through this together as a community. I want to tell everyone that that it's important that we work together, okay? And together we will stop this virus. Thank you, and I'll take some questions.
Can you talk about testing? What are if citizens of Clay County want to get tested, how are they doing it?
Sure, the testing facility is still available at TIAA Bank Field, and citizens can go there. There's no longer a temperature requirement to get tested for that. They can also contact their primary care provider and get a doctor's approval to get that testing out.
Is Clay County planning on opening up a site like TIAA Bank?
With the supplies are limited, we would really like to open up a site, but those supplies are limited, both the test kits and the swabs. But other, I believe FDA tests are starting to become available that are quicker and rapid. And I know one area hospital has ordered that, and it will become available. The limiting factor to that is it's just one test at a time on that, though it is quicker, 5 to 15 minutes. I know locally it takes approximately 6 to 8 days to get the test back if you go out to TIAA Bank Field. Any other questions?
What about the people who are out driving, essential folks? Or is there going to be any enforcement? Do they have to have a paper in their
Right. This has
car?
come up a few times.
Okay.
Basically, I want to talk to each and every one of you. You are the enforcer, right? You know what's critical and why you need to venture out, whether it's groceries, gasoline, to go to the pharmacy, get medications, and those particular businesses that are on the exemption list on the executive order. But most importantly, that's what everybody needs to know. Together, we must work on this, and it's up to you to do the right thing. Thanks for that question.
Stores, mentioning how many people are in the stores. Are you guys going to implement a rule, or are you just going to leave it up to stores to?
It's like important to just leave it up to that situation there, to the management, the leadership of that particular store, grocery store, whatever it may be, gasoline station. I mean, everybody should be doing their part, and they know it should be no more than 10 together in a particular gathering for that. So we just ask those businesses out there to manage that accordingly.
You're seeing specific outbreak areas like a nursing home or anything, or?
Nothing specific or a type of hotspot, really. With the numbers that we have, we've been very fortunate. I believe for the past 3 weeks, our social distancing has been working, but now's not the time to stop. We have to continue to do that. But nothing that's critical. And if there is something, I know Heather and her team go out immediately to ask questions and to trace those, her epidemiology staff, and they really try to figure out where this virus was caught.
Question for the sheriff's office. How will your office enforce businesses that are not essential and are still open?
So the question was, how will the sheriff's office address businesses that are not essential
And still
service locations but are still open? As my folks patrol the streets, if they notice any non-compliance contrary to the executive order, they'll make contact with those individuals inside who are in charge of that facility and ask them to comply with the letter of the executive order. What we don't want to do is get into a position where we're having a confrontation with someone who's trying to make a living, but more so to educate and get voluntary compliance is more the thing. Absent any aggravating circumstances, would lean towards away from actual physical arrests, and anytime that we have to make an arrest out here, we will utilize a notice to appear if at all possible, but if we have to, we'll make physical arrests.
Has your office noticed non-compliance issues? Are they up? Are they following the rules?
So the question was, have we noticed any non-compliance issues? No, actually we have not. We stay in close contact with the National Sheriff's Association and Florida Sheriff's Association. That is a question that has come up across the country in various jurisdictions, and there hasn't been some polling that has been done across the country to that end. And luckily, here in Clay County, no, we have not seen non-compliance issues spiking.
Question. I'm sorry.
It's about business, but about, I guess, normal people out in their daily life, congregating, let me ask you to repeat this a little bit.
So the question being people out congregating, typically what we see, in the day-to-day basis, absent the COVID-19 virus, is the younger population gathering up. You're not going to get a 55-year-old man like myself going out hanging out with other 55-year-old men out in the park. We just don't do that. But you get your younger crowd because they have nothing else to do in their minds. There's no other recreation other than to essentially hang out with their peers. Well, they're going to have to find another way to hang out. And, situations like this don't get easier. We just get stronger. We get stronger in the way that we address or deal with the adversities that come towards us. And that being how to get some togetherness, albeit social distancing. So the challenge for the younger crowd is how do you come together socially but at a distance? And I can tell that young crowd, if you're listening, and they're probably not, but if they are, listen, the adults in the room, what we do is we use Skype, we use Zoom, we use other platforms to come together so that we can see that face and we can hear that voice without actually having to come into physical contact. So my encouraging words to you is to use some of those platforms out there. Y'all know what to do. Any other questions?
About a question for the schools. Have there been any problems with kids having to do the learning from home?
No, surprisingly, I'm absolutely amazed at how well the distance learning has started. As people go through this process, we get better and better every day. But you got to remember, the students know more about the technology than anyone else. For them, this is their wheelhouse. And so it's gone very, very well. Very, very proud of our teachers who've adapted to a new way of teaching, our students, and I'm especially proud of our parents. I've gotten many comments from parents now that they're working from home and also monitoring their child's education from home. That's a new learning curve for them too, and we greatly appreciate their partnership in their child's education.
Can you talk about the cancellations like prom, stuff like that?
Yeah, at this time, based on the way that we're now closed until May 4th, and until further notice related to that all end of the year activities have been canceled. We have not, repeat, have not, that's a not, canceled graduation at this point. We're still looking into that, of course. We're concerned, but we haven't gotten any further guidance as far as timeline goes.
So for right now, you still see the students getting their diplomas, people in the stands?
Well, that's correct. Right now it's on.
Okay.
More information will come.
And I'll just add, this all depends on you. Social distancing is extremely important. We will recover faster if you all do your part. Thank you all.